Hello, hello. I was doing, or I was trying to do the notify live thing on Newtbot, but it doesn't seem to be working. I'm trying to think if I did it wrong. I don't think I did it wrong. Oh, there it is. Okay. Perfect. What up, Rainbow Sparkle? How you doing today? Yeah, oh, we're getting back in the groove. No camera today though. I couldn't be bothered to put a shirt on, so here we are. Oh. I just finished my first cup of coffee. It hasn't kicked in yet though. So actually weirdly, I just started streaming, but I do need to go make another cup of coffee. Needed a fitness. Hell yeah. The fittest. I'm just wearing a tank top. I feel like I have to get a little bit ready if I'm gonna turn a camera on, you know? I don't know. Next time I will. I was just feeling lazy, I guess. Let me go start this next cup of coffee. You guys can look at my beautiful maps that I've been making. My chunks. I'll be right back. All right, Emily, I get it. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, another stream. Another delightful day where you guys get to watch me struggle. All right, coffee's brewing. How you guys doing today? You guys having a good one? So here's my strategy. Here's what I was thinking I was gonna do. The day's about to end. Yeah, I think I stream at the weirdest time. It was nice, good, I'm glad. Because I stream right before Europe goes to bed, and then right before America wakes up. Which is probably the absolute worst time to stream. Made my first small Go lib tonight. Your stream was nice to watch for the co-working. Oh, nice. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad it helped. It's only 1 p.m. here. Oh, really? I always thought it was further. You're in like I want to say like England. I'm trying to remember. Unit of ASMR. I don't even know what people do for ASMR. I think I've watched like ones, they just like whisper, right? I gotta get the ears. I've seen pictures of the ears. That weirded me out though. 4 p.m. at my place. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Great Britain. All right. So here's what my idea was. I would take these chunks. They're all the same size. These chunks from LDTK. They're all the same size. And then I would just do like a random walk around where I would just like put a chunk here. And then like I walk to the right, maybe randomly, put a chunk there. I walk down, maybe put a chunk there. And then I spawn it all that way. And then I was, now all I need to do is put connectors between them. That's what I was thinking I was gonna do. But now I think I actually might just fill these chunks out to the edges. So they're almost always connected. Maybe sometimes there's a gap on some edges. And then just put a grid down of the random ones. And then have walls. And then hopefully the walls would like make it a little bit more roomy. That's my thought. So what I was gonna do is I was gonna just try to copy these. I don't know if I can though. Just duplicate. All right, there we go. Oh, that's weird. They're both level 5. Oh, okay. Whatever. Oops. Entities, oops, objects, walls. Or let's actually do this. Nope. I'm just gonna do like 4. Then I'm gonna put random walls around, and then I'm gonna see what it looks like when I like move them around. Have you thought about using wave function class for procedural generation? Yeah, like there's a lot of very interesting ways to do procedural generation. Right now though, I want to eventually, like, my end goal is to have a lot of different dungeons generated a lot of different ways. And actually wave function collapse I'm not super familiar with. But I did see like a few videos about it. So maybe I should look into that more as like a method of doing it. Like I guess my end goal though is to have like a bunch of different types of dungeons generated a bunch of different types of ways. So I want to have like different methods. So for now I'm just making one dungeon because I'm trying to test like the big gameplay. So I'm not gonna like do anything too crazy for my procedural generation. But eventually I do want to have like more advanced ones, or more advanced and more different and varied types of procedural generation. But for now I'm just doing something very simple. I do want to have different rooms, and I want to have some amount of like connection between rooms. They don't have to be long like hallways or anything like that, but I do want the player to like move from room to room for this initial dungeon prototype. So yeah. What's up, Hengstus? Hengstus. Yeah. Hey man. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy them. Would they go deeper or only one level? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure yet. They probably will go deeper. It'll probably go from like dungeon to dungeon though, if that makes sense. Like the gameplay loop is like you're in the overworld, then you go into a dungeon, you like grind, you like go through the dungeon, you kill stuff, you get loot, you can teleport home whenever you want. So the further you get into the dungeon, the more loot you would get, you know? And then with that loot, my objective was to make some sort of crafting system so you can build better gear to like make you stronger, stuff like that, upgrade your character. etc. So it's like the gameplay loop. So yeah, I could either do one really, really big dungeon, or I could do like really wide dungeon, which is maybe interesting, but it's also like you don't know which way to go at the start, so you might end up going really far in one direction and end up the exits like all the way on the other side, you know, or the bosses. So there's like pros and cons. So I'll have to balance like how big I want the dungeons to be, I think, and also like how many players a dungeon should hold. That's the other thing, because it's like supposed to be like a lot of players in the dungeon. Like the rooms have to be pretty big, you know, because there's going to be a lot. If it's a really small room and there's a lot of people, it's going to be really a lot going on. So I do want some kind of like separation of people, if that makes sense. So I probably will end up making them go more than one level, but I don't want it to be like just this like, it's not going to be like Enter the Gungeon where you go through like an enormous amount of levels, you know. It'll be like maybe you go through 3 levels. Morning, JJ. So you go through like 3 levels and then like return home or something. But maybe I don't know. It'll be varied. Yes, we're on dungeons. I'm not really sure how to do this though. I was thinking I would just do something like this. But I feel like these aren't going to tile well together. So I'm just kind of like experimenting here. Okay. So these are all rooms. How does that work? Yeah, so you end up with like weird. So maybe what I do, maybe the rule is like I leave corners open. Let's see how that looks. I'm really just trying to, you can't do all corners. Maybe you just make sure you leave 2 corners open. Yeah, I mean, it's always just gonna be you enter a corner, you leave a corner, which is like I feel like that's gonna be pretty boring. And like even this one got blocked. I don't like this. I don't think this is gonna work very well. Pseudo randomly dungeons, yeah. Yeah, so what I do, it's actually kind of interesting how I'm doing this, I think. I'm sure other people do this. I just thought it was interesting. But I basically have what I'm calling a level config, which has like 2 things. One of them is the type of dungeon I'm generating. Right now I just have like a random one because I only have 1 dungeon, but eventually it'll be like different dungeon types probably. Then I have a seed. And this is the only piece of data I send to the client to tell them what the level is going to look like. And then from this, they can deterministically generate the exact same dungeon. So what I do is basically I have a generate dungeon function, or I call it generate level blocks, which I'll probably have to change because I don't think they're returning a level block, which is just a right now it's just like a LDTK level name and then a position for that level. I don't think that's enough to get a I don't think it's enough to like do the amount of procedural generation that I want. Like, so I need to improve this output, I guess. But so yeah, I basically just make a seed, and Go has a nice like way to seed a random function. So I take my seed, I seed a pseudo random like function generator thing. It's called like a random source, and then I use that to generate all of my random numbers. And as long as I do them all always in the same order, it's deterministic. A seed is just it's like the starting point, I guess you could call it, of the random number generator. So if you have the same seed, you'll get the same output. So yeah. So I might go back to my old strategy. My old strategy was just to like take these, and then I was gonna do basically something like this. I was literally gonna take like, so let's say these two get placed in the world next to each other, and I want to connect them. I would literally just take like a green rectangle and like draw that, and now there's a bridge between them all. And then every time I want to connect them, I just have a bridge that gets drawn like this, you know, probably underneath it so that the dirt like stuff gets put on top of it. But that's kind of my idea. It would have been nice to actually let's try one more, because I just thought of something. Let me try one more thing. What if I just do oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's say I wall off the entire thing, but then like 1 2 3 4 3 4 1 2 3. So I do like this. I'm just gonna go fast. I'm not gonna worry about it being perfect. This is my biggest problem with pixel art, is I'm always like 1 2 3 4, and it always like, I make things too symmetrical sometimes, I think. But you know, what can you do? Like for example, I feel like I could do this. Just have different blocks with different amounts of doors open. And I don't even think I need to specify this in LDTK. I think I just generate plots, you know, and then I can put whatever. Like right now, it's kind of weird, but right now I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible to have different rooms. So now it's almost like it's just kind of, it'll just be a grid of these, essentially. Oops. And then if I want to connect two things, I just clear out this, which is a lot easier of a thing to clear. So I basically make a bunch of rooms. I make a bunch of rooms that are walled on every side. And then if I want to connect rooms, all I have to do is delete the walls between these, which I don't think will be that hard. Like I just have a section of wall I delete if I want to connect a room. And that should probably be easier than like drawing a whole new. I just don't know if that'll be interesting enough. Yeah, because I think I can do stuff like this, you know, to like make it a little bit more dynamic. You know what I mean? And like I can take out floors and things like that, you know. I guess at some point I have to have it connected though, just in case it does bridge this direction. But I can change the shapes. I just need to have kind of the four corners covered on all of them. I think I'm fine with that. I think that that's a good starting point for a very basic type of dungeon. Does the overworld layout determine the dungeon layout? So what I'm calling the overworld, which is the name of this file, which is probably poorly named because it's also going to have dungeon cells inside of it too. But this is the overworld. I basically right now have a spawning zone, and then I have a dungeon spawner, and then this is the old, when you used to go up here and like destroy a crystal, and then you would fight stuff, and this was the old like room, I called it. But now these will each be rooms. So these will be rooms, and you'll go through each of these as kind of like little combat encounters. And that'll be how you go through the dungeon. So I think I just lay out a big grid of these, and then I do like a random walk through that, maybe multiple times to generate like a path. And this was my old dungeon. So there used to be a little teleporter. You teleport here and you just teleport to this one. That's why it's placed over top of it. So I'll get rid of that. I think I'm gonna do something like this though, because this feels really easy to do. There's my cat. These cats are attention hogs, I swear. I don't think I could physically give them enough attention. What about dying in a dungeon? Yeah, I don't know if it's a squeak ASMR. Yeah, if you die if you die at all in this game, you go back to the loading or the join game menu. You always, and then when you join the game, you always spawn here. So you always spawn here, then there's gonna be dungeons that spawn up here, and you can just enter the dungeons, and they cycle every 5 minutes. I think it's either 5 or 10 minutes. I don't remember what I ended on. All right, let's go ahead and just delete these. I guess I could go even simpler. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just gonna make bridges on all the edges. Oops. I do want to make my tiles a little bit nicer though, because I have I feel like it always looks weird when you have these flat tiles and there's nothing below them. Like I feel like there should be like like a vertical below these just to show it's like a little bit of depth. I'm gonna do something like this, I think. All right, we're almost through. I feel like a fully connected grid wouldn't be that fun, just because there's not enough decision making. I guess I don't even have to do walls. What I can just do is I can just clear the edge if I don't want it to connect. Do all the players see the same dungeon when they spawn? If so, can they team up with another player? If so, could you adjust the difficulty based on the number of players in the party? Yeah, I mean, those are good points too. So yeah, so like the vision is that everybody, well, right now everyone sees the same dungeon. So everybody joins the same dungeon every 5 minutes. There's only one dungeon that'll like ever exist at a time. So regardless of how many players there are, it'll just be everybody's in the same dungeon essentially, as long as you join it. That's kind of what I want the game to be like. I want it to be people go into the same dungeon and like do all their combat, you know, together. So everybody's teaming up essentially. And then adjusting the difficulty, that's something I've thought a little bit about. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet though, but because on one hand, I think it's important to motivate people to like organize a little bit. So I don't want to make it like, I don't want to just like it to be at the same difficulty regardless of how many people you have in it, but I also do want it to be possible to do some of the content just by yourself. So I think I might do something like if you're by yourself, I might make, I don't know, because I feel like there's also some amount of like effort people might put into like soloing hard dungeons. So I might make, I'll probably just have a bunch of really easy dungeons and then I'll have a bunch of really hard dungeons. And the hard dungeons are probably you try to get people together to do them with you. And then the easy dungeons are like someone who just joined the game could probably go through this dungeon by themselves. Like that's how easy it is. So I probably won't scale it dynamically based on the size of the party. I'll probably make it the same difficulty. Unless maybe like at least eventually it will be like that. But like as people, because it's an online game, so like it's hard to get like your initial players, I think. So what I might do initially is make it scale like that, just because otherwise people can't play some of the game, because it's like we just can't, there's not enough people in the game to physically like do this thing, and that might suck. So yeah, so I might do it initially, scale it like very lightly, but yeah. Let me get my coffee. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Walls or gaps? I don't know. I don't know. What's up, Dracula? I guess I can do a combination of both. I kind of have like pretty interesting like layouts though. This I might make it a little bit bigger. Nothing much, fixing bugs and more bugs. Hey, same. That's just the what's it called? The human condition. That's the programmer condition. I think I might do this. I just don't know if I want to predetermine which edges connect, and then my grid just kind of naturally forms. I actually think I might take the edges away from everything. So there's one. I might do this on all of them. And then if I want to connect two sides, I just connect them. It'll be weird though, because you'll always walk over and be like, oh, look, I can almost walk there, but not. "3 days before releasing the website to live and 6 months staying in beta client. Started hunting bugs now." Oh gosh. Yeah, you gotta find those bugs early. I feel like this is gonna look really weird, because they're all gonna place and it's gonna be like, this is, but if I add them, I think right now I might just predetermine what connects where. And just like some things don't connect. Let's do this one. And this one. I'm gonna keep them all having 3. So it'll be mostly connected. I should probably have a few that only have like 1. This one's fully connected. Maybe I do like a minimum amount. Like maybe 2, 3 tops. Let's go through each one. This one has 4. That's fine. I like that kind of. Let's just make this one these 2. And we'll just lay out a grid of these and then just like see how it turns out, you know? That's got 2, that's got 3. I'm gonna get rid of this one. This one's got 2, that's got 3. This has got 3. This has 2, that's 3. Let's see what this looks like. These are the right numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Right now I'm just doing a random walk of these, and then we'll see how that looks. I don't think it's gonna be. I'm not gonna make a grid of these. I'm just gonna do a walk of them, and then see what it ends up like. But I do want to make sure I don't go double back on myself. Do you hear about the WP malware going around? No, I haven't. What's that? What's WP? This isn't bad. It's a little bit weird to have like this. There's like a one, it's like weird because there's a one, there's just like a constant single bar. I think because the walk's doubling on itself. Oh, WordPress? No, I haven't heard about it. What is it, like in the form of a plugin? Pretty wide. What do you mean, like the rooms are too big? Targets vulnerabilities in plugins. Interesting. What's up, Rusky? How you doing today? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't used WordPress. I don't think I've ever used WordPress actually. So I'm not super familiar with it. I do know it's something you can host yourself, but that's about all I know about it. And it's like a website builder, but that's not good for them. Is it like a supply chain side thing where people are supplying plugins that are themselves malware, or is it like some plugins are using some API or something that makes them susceptible to some attack? I'm trying to think of how I want to do this walk. I think I might bias it in like different directions. Like I might do one walk that goes like upright, one walk that goes up left. I think actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep a map of where I've been, like a set of where I've been, and then if I've been there already, I'm not gonna add that as a block. It's classic WordPress day. Oh, it's like WordPress just has a vulnerability. Make map of. I love the fact that you can use structs as keys to maps. That's like my favorite thing. Because hash maps are already like one of the most useful data structures already. Now you can use them. Now you can use anything, like pretty much anything, as your key. Beautiful. I know you can do like an empty struct here, but I always do bool, even though it wastes more memory. Pattern matching using key, I know. It's ridiculous. All right, let's look at the Discord. How wasteful, I know. Super wasteful of my All right, let's look at this. Hacker News. #1 trusted cybersecurity news platform. Over 1 million WordPress websites are estimated to have been infected by an ongoing campaign to deploy malware called Balata Injector. Theme plugin vulnerabilities to breach WordPress sites. The attackers are known to play out in waves. Okay. This campaign is easily identified by its preference for string from car code obfuscation, the use of freshly registered domain names hosting malicious scripts on random subdomains, and by redirects to various scam sites. This is hard to, I just don't know enough about like how this works to understand. Like, I don't even know what this is. Is this JavaScript? Oh, I guess it is, okay. Attacks are engineered to read or download arbitrary site files. I'm curious like how they do it. I'm not, like, is it from people using plugins that are malicious? The injected malicious JS code was included on the homepage of more than half of the oh, so it's a malicious plugins, I guess. I guess they just like link it from other JavaScript somewhere else. Is learning programming like memorization, more like memorization, or is it like memorizing 10% and being able to use the knowledge to build and decipher decisions in the future from? My opinion is that programming is like the path of learning programming is trial and error. It's let me try this thing, and then but by trying it, you've learned like the problems with what you did. So you do this thing, it doesn't work out, you find out why it didn't work out, and then you can next time you build something like that, you use that like past experience to build it. I think there's like the only time you really memorize stuff is like syntax things. But like you type syntax so frequently that like it's almost like you don't have to actively memorize it. You just end up memorizing it because you've done it so much. And if you're worried about memorization, like if you use IDEs that do autocomplete for you, you're probably not going to memorize it as well, just because the IDE is doing the memorization for you. What'll happen is like you'll type like because this is a type, right? And I want to use this type somewhere, so I'll start like doing tile dot. Then it'll show me like all of the things inside of this package that I could possibly use. And then it'll like I'll do like this, and then it'll be like, oh, tile position. I'll hit tab or something, and then position will just like spit out. So if you're worried about, if you want to memorize stuff, I would recommend not using an IDE that does autocomplete, or not using autocomplete, because you won't memorize stuff as frequently. You'll have to like, because the IDE will do it for you basically. So I don't use autocomplete, and that's kind of partially why, but. So it's not, I would say it's not very much memorization. It's mostly about making enough mistakes to where you like know where the mistakes are next time you do something. That's what I would say. That's why I'm very heavy on like iterative development. Like, because a lot of times you'll work on something and you'll work on something new that you don't know how to solve. And I think if you sit there too long and think about how to solve this thing that you don't know how to solve, like you're not going to be able, because you're not solving it, you're not going to be able to like gain that insight you would have had if you just like sat down and tried to do it. So I very often will like, the very first thing I try to do is like sit down and try to write something. And like sometimes it like turns out really bad, you know, and sometimes it's really annoying to deal with. So, but like by solving it poorly one time, the next time you solve it, it'll do a better job. Just because you'll like know the pitfalls. Yeah, Dory's right too. Like looking up stuff is very useful as well. Oh, they target bad plugins. Plugins come with custom JS and CSS. Gotcha. Okay. So then they inject their custom CSS or JS, I mean. Yeah, of course. Happy to help. You're very motivating for me for some reason. Good. I'm glad. I'm here to motivate people to program. Yeah, no, I'm not saying LSPs are bad by any means. It's definitely a tool, but like, I think it does prevent you from like memorizing some things, which and then it's debatable whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. You have to memorize less, but you end up memorizing less. So I don't know. But yeah, sometimes it would be nice if I could just like hit a button and like have it pop the docs for me. I do think though, sometimes people will get spoiled by IDEs and they'll end up not looking at the docs at all. And so they'll never learn how to use the package properly. They'll just they'll literally just like start typing. They'll like type like, oh, tile dot like something. And they'll just like, well, let me like flick through my list of things because I don't know what I need to use. And then they'll find something that sounds right. They'll use that and then like never actually read like what it does or anything like that. Yeah, opening and reading the docs is quite a good adventure. Yeah, I agree. I think you should definitely read the docs for packages you're using. But yeah, once you understand how to use it, you're just trying to remember like what's that function called. Then I think it's fine to have the autocomplete for stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think LSPs are bad. In fact, I have an LSP running too for Go, but that's mostly for like finding definition. And that's one of the most useful things because I can just like hit a button and then it'll go to this, and now I can look at the type and be like, oh, it's X and Y. That's right. Because I sometimes have a very inconsistent coding like standard. Those viruses are pretty common in WordPress because it's so popular and people try to hack it. More like that's the the good thing about using popular technology is that it's very well developed or it's very mature. You know, there's a lot of things, but the downside is it's like everybody wants to target that one because it's the popular one. So like hackers are always coming after the big names, you know. That's why I use Linux. Or that's why I think it was kind of a fallacy people would say. They'd be like, oh yeah, like there's no viruses on Mac, you know. But it's like there's just not enough people that use Macs to where people would write viruses for them. Not that like Mac was impenetrable. So at least I remember people telling me that when I was in like high school and stuff. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember how old I was, but at some point in my life, people have said that to me. And I don't think that's true. Go to test and doc symbols inspection. Yeah, I agree. That's like the most handy feature, I think. It is frustrating sometimes though that like if I have a syntax error like right here, and I save this, it's like this isn't gonna work. Oh, it did work. Okay. I hate when I try to come up with an example and like it just doesn't work. Sometimes I'll have like a syntax error. Let's try this one. Okay, that one worked too. sometimes I'll have a syntax error and it just won't be able to figure it out. And I feel like it's such a trivial thing to realize, like, you know. But that's the most frustrating thing for me. It's like I want to find this thing because I'm trying to remember like what the arguments were to like some function or something, and then like, oh, I can't find the symbol because like it's not compiling or something. So I wish LSPs were a little bit less like, I understand they have to generate a syntax tree, but I wish they were a little bit more like robust, I guess. I know, like right when I try to do an example, of course the Go LSP works. And WordPress noob friendly, so it's easier to get to them. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Like if you're building a tool that's made for people who like don't understand like security and technology, not that it's their fault, it's just like that's not their field, you know. Then it's like you really have to be careful with how you structure things. That's why there's all this like two-factor authentication things, because you have to just assume like your user's gonna leak their password at some point, you know. I hate that I can't rename things with syntax errors. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just like, it's like you have like one little typo where like you're missing a comma somewhere, and it's like now I have to like compile my code, find the comma that was missing, and then it'll work, and then I don't know. It is a little bit annoying, but I think it's just because I'm a little bit spoiled by it. Remember when I thought Mac was so much better, going to the Mac store and playing RuneScape thinking I was doing something illegal? That's hilarious. I actually played RuneScape last night for the first time in many years. We did the mole. We killed the mole. Like we literally got membership, and I think we're just gonna start playing. It's fun. I freaking loved RuneScape growing up. That was the best game ever. I found that on addictinggames.com. What a fun game. How does a noob protect themselves from stuff on WordPress? You also find your LSP dying sometimes? Yeah, sometimes it'll freeze. I'll like hit a button to like do something LSP related, and it'll just like, I think because it has to go and like regenerate the entire, like I feel like it has to recompile. Like it takes that long, which I don't think it should necessarily need to take that long, but it does. You have to treat everyone like a threat or an idiot. The paranoid mindset. Yeah, I think it's interesting that maybe I misunderstand this because I'm not really a security expert, but like there's this saying in security, which is that actually, I don't know what the saying, I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's like security by obfuscation is like a bad thing or something like that, you know. That's basically saying like security by obfuscation is a bad thing. And what they're trying to say is like, you shouldn't just like put something in an arbitrary but unsecure place and like expect it to be safe, you know. But I think it's interesting because like even cryptography, it's like all it's doing is like obfuscating. Maybe obfuscating is the wrong word here, and this is where I don't really know, but all like when you encrypt something, all it's doing is like obfuscating it based off of like a key, and just the key is really, really hard to guess. So they obfuscate it like so well that it's like secure, you know. That's why I think it's kind of funny that that's a saying, like security by obfuscation is like a bad, I don't know how it goes, but I found it randomly from some kid in class, and the teachers banned us from it. Yeah, that sounds about right. That was probably like all schools growing up, you know. They're all like, what is this RuneScape game? There's probably so much viruses back in the day. Can you imagine how unsecure that stuff was? You used to enter passwords like on websites without HTTPS, just plain text, and sending your password over. It's crazy. For a while, my entire school was using RS as a chat room for after school. Oh, that's hilarious. Meeting in certain worlds every day. That's so cool. I never did that, but Shannon's principle. I feel like I vaguely remember this. I'm not gonna do Techipedia. I just like, I'm annoyed when I go to a website and there's just tons of ads. Even I have ad blocker and they still pop up sometimes. Tells us the maximum rate at which information can be transmitted over communication channel is the specified bandwidth in the presence of noise. Oh, I'm like vaguely remembering this because I did electrical engineering, so this was kind of, I think we definitely talked about this. I think just update WordPress. Don't trust people before installing plugins. Check if it's popular, ratings, comments, downloads, and maybe Reddit or YouTube. Yeah, RuneScape's still alive. In fact, I don't know if you followed RuneScape very much, but like, what happened in the journey of RuneScape, as I remember it, was back in, I don't remember the year, but they did this, or there was a bunch of like illegal activity happening from people buying and selling gold for like real world money, where like terrorist organizations were being funded by like members grinding on RuneScape, selling the gold to like other people for money, and like they made money that way. And they would fund their terrorist organizations like that, probably from botting, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, so RuneScape disabled like trading, basically, like below, I think it was like 10K threshold, you could trade with people. So they disabled that, and then PKing, which is like player killing, is like PvP, was like the most popular thing, or not the most popular thing, but it's a really popular thing. That's like pretty much all I did when I played RuneScape. They turned that off like just one day randomly. So like you just showed up in like the wilderness, they called it, which is where you do PvP, and you couldn't fight anymore. Or yeah, I think they disabled it or something. I don't remember, but like a lot of people stopped playing back then, and then they did into this whole like evolution of combat thing. They tried to make this thing called Bounty Hunter, which was supposed to like replace the PvP. It was just very poorly received. And so then they ended up moving the current version of RuneScape. They called it like RuneScape 3, and they did some graphical updates, but it's a completely different game. It's much more like WoW and stuff like that, I feel like, where you have like abilities and things. And then they made, at some point along the way, they made what's called old school RuneScape, which is like the RuneScape before they did all of the disabling of all the features and making everybody upset. So it's just, yeah. It's a very interesting like journey of like how they got to where it is. And there's two games, old school RuneScape, and then there's RuneScape 3. I think more people play old school RuneScape, funnily enough. There's this documentary on YouTube that this guy made about about RuneScape, which I thought was really interesting. I don't think I ever finished it, but it was like 2 hours long or something. Or maybe it was in 2 hours, but it was pretty long. That's a different Shannon, yeah. The biggest issue, I think the biggest issue is more security makes it harder and less flexibly to do things, and it's much easier for noobs to just disable them the right way. Yeah, and that's definitely true. It's definitely like I don't know if you guys have worked at like companies that have like a security team, but like it's always like a big fight with them. They're always like, nope, that's not like, that doesn't follow our policy. And you're like, well, it's like, to me, it seems like the same level of security as your policy, just I'm not doing it the exact way you wanted it. So there's a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah, I was a big time toxic player. Killing all the noobs, and no, I was the noob getting killed, to be honest. I was pretty bad at it, but it was fun. I like the metagame about RuneScape, where like you had, because you would build a specific account for PvP, and like you would keep some levels low and and you'd make some levels high to make your like fine tune your account to be as strong as possible. Like I think they did that part really, really well. They're releasing a new skill, necromancy, in RuneScape. Oh, really? Yeah, pure accounts. That's what it's called. Yeah, Michael, I just started playing last night again. I'm getting sucked back in. It's bad. Is that RuneScape 3 they're adding it in? Old school. That's what I'm playing. Yeah. I feel like I see you on Discord and you have RuneLight open. Oh, they're adding it to RuneScape old school. Exactly. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna tie this somehow into like I'm working. I'm gonna start playing RuneScape on. I'll start streaming RuneScape and I'll call it like study sessions. Studying for game dev. RuneScape's such a fun game. I love it. It's just like I'm a little worried that I'm gonna get too sucked into it, you know? Because I used to when I was in high school, I used to think about RuneScape like constantly. Sailing is the new skill they're pulling in old school. Oh really? I remember they were like gonna add that a while back, but they ended up not, or they, I don't remember what happened. But that's gone through it multiple times, right? You play MU online? I don't even know what that is. But so no, I do not play that. Oh, this is the second time? Yeah. I just remember I was reading some article because whenever a new skill comes out, it's like kind of a big thing, you know? And they were like, I remember the devs being kind of like disappointed it didn't go through. They were like, oh man, we really liked sailing. It's like, it sounds kind of, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like, but it seems like a weird skill. Like, what do you do from it? But like, what do you get out of it, you know? That's always the big question. RuneScape's done a good job like sticking to their roots. They just had to pull for sailing, taming, and shamanism as new skills. Oh wow. Oh, it was like pick one. You can only pick one of them. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, but RuneScape. Could you imagine? Oh, I hope they have like the problem with RuneScape is the tick rate is so low that or I don't know which way you're supposed to say it, but it's so slow that like it's hard to do anything like real time, you know? So like if you wanted to do like cool like ship battles, it would have to be like this 1 second delay for every single thing, you know? Maybe they could do it well because PvP is pretty fun and that's pretty slow tick too. Yeah, what a great game. Yeah, 0.6 seconds, I know. Isn't that crazy? It is impressive though how fast they make it feel with having that tick rate. Combo eat all day long, yeah. What was it? You had to do like I can't even pronounce the word. It's like wands or whatever. Those prickly things. That was the thing you combo ate with, right? Future stream idea making a macro engine for RuneScape and Go. Karambwans are 0 tick. Okay, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. You clearly know a lot more than me about RuneScape. I like it. We have an expert in our presence. You need to escape win. Oh gosh. I'd be embarrassed to stream that. I feel like you guys didn't realize how much of a noob I was. Yes. I did mole yesterday, last night. You should make a Snowflake Iron Man account. What's Snowflake Iron Man? I've heard of Iron Man. Is there like another Snowflake mode or something? Is it like a mode on top of it? Oh, that's like settled makes accounts like that. Like locking yourself to only killing bosses. Gotcha. Yeah, he'd like what's it called, like Tile Man or something like that. He did the one slot, which was really interesting. That was a really interesting set of videos. It was pretty short, but the single, because like half of it was like him just getting enough gold, so he hit like the exact amount of gold so he could go like buy something. I thought that was hilarious. And Swapletics, yeah. I want to go through and watch those because I haven't seen the full Tileman series and I haven't seen Swapletics either. But I heard those are really fun. Or like they're a really good watch. And it's totally the type of thing that I could watch like in bed while I fall asleep. If we've already generated it, we want to just continue. Oh, but we also want to do yeah, it's hard because if we continue, we're just gonna skip one. But we want to generate the same number of blocks every time. So that's great. Jimmy is really good too. He has a series called By Release that he does all the quests in release order. Oh, interesting. That's kind of cool. I guess by doing it in release order, you kind of guarantee that you'll have all the dependencies because the dependencies they make for a quest, you know what I mean? Like the dependency tree seems to work out there because every quest that gets released could only depend on things that have already been made unless they like retroactively change the dependency. Yeah, there's this one YouTube, it was like, I think it was called like, I don't know, remember the YouTuber name, but it was like, the series was called like, And Then We Fight. And like what they would do is they'd go like, we could train like 1 hour and then they're gonna fight. And they would do that like every single time. And they would get some like bonus for like fighting. Like whoever won got a bonus to like help them for the next fight. I thought that was an interesting series. I couldn't remember what it was. I can't remember who it was though. Yeah, that's his name. Him, and then it was some other guy. Like Link, something about something Zelda related. It was like Link or something. I don't remember. Yeah. That was cool too. That was cool to watch. I like stuff like that. That's like a very creative like thing, you know? It's like a very creative way to play the game. And that's what's cool about like sandboxy type games. Like RuneScape's kind of a sandbox, I feel like. You can kind of like choose whatever you want to do and just go and do it. So I guess the downside is you end up like having to pick something to do. But I feel like the upside is it gives a lot more creativity for what you can end up doing. I think I'm gonna do, I guess I could just do I minus minus. Then it'll do the same block. Basically, it's just gonna generate a new one. I'm training thieving as we speak, haha, yeah. Jeez, that's a rough one. That one gives you RSI, I feel like. That's the only downside about RuneScape is how click heavy it is. I always found it as economic sandbox. Yeah, that's the other cool thing. Like that, like RuneScape is cool like that. They even have like websites that show like stock charts, you know, like candle charts of yeah, carpal tunnel simulator. That's hilarious. That's exactly right though. But yeah, they even have like stock charts of like different items in RuneScape and how much they sell for in gold. So you can like try to like buy stuff low and sell it high. Which I feel like is absolutely hilarious, but I saw that in GE they have a tax now. They literally tax people, I guess to burn gold or something, but which I can appreciate because you don't want to inflate your economy so much, but it's just funny. Like they literally tax you for some items. I don't know the exact rules. I just saw like when I was buying stuff, it'd be like this item will not be taxed or something like that, and I was like, okay. Yeah, keep inflation down. Yeah, it makes sense. They need to burn gold. And it's based on volume. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, they have like high alch, which is smart to like burn items, so items don't inflate. And then they have now they need ways to like do the opposite. Oh, okay. I guess basing it on volume probably makes sense. So I'll just buy one at a time. Okay, so what's gonna happen here? If this tile position's already been generated, wait, this is gonna be the same position, isn't it? Start. Yeah, so I need to do this up here. Okay, so then we'll move to, this will change the positions. What I should really be doing is doing it based off start X, start Y. But hey. Here's what we'll do. Instead of tile pause, we're gonna do so it'll just be based off of these two values, which is kind of like, so you'll move from chunk to chunk or tile to tile in the outer like tile. That's why it's so confusing, because it's like I'm tiling tile maps. So yeah, if we've already generated one at this position, start X, start Y, we just won't do it again. That seems fine. Oh wait, but we move? We move first. I'm trying to think here. I've thoroughly confused myself now. This needs to be based off of an unmoved one, because we're like registering one that we're doing. So it makes sense to move it after. The only problem is, if we continue, we're never gonna go to somewhere new. Backstep, backstep, yeah. Well, it's like I need to do it in two places. I need to do it here. What we can do, actually, we can just do this. If not, okay. So it hasn't been generated, we're just gonna generate a new one. Else, we'll do I minus minus. And then we'll just, this will be the generation part. Else we're not gonna generate this one, we're just gonna go back and do the same one again. And then we move. This should work. Tile positions. All right. This should be perfect. This should do the trick. This has been a really, adding dungeons has been a very like interesting experience in terms of like separating code out. Oh, I love this. I literally generated one that, a dungeon that you literally can't go anywhere. I don't think this is gonna work, guys. I don't think this is gonna, I don't think my strategy is good enough. SAMP had virtual worlds where you just use an ID which separated you from other players in the networking system. That's interesting. Yeah, mine's kind of similar. Like I have what I'm calling a world ID that the players gets associated with, and that determines like which world they're playing in. Do you have the positions of the opening? Maybe you can do checks using it. Yeah, I could definitely make it more specific on how it's tiled. Like what I could do is I could look at, like I could make a tile map, basically a randomly generated tile map of just like the outer chunks. I just don't know if I like that more. Or if I want to just like make bridges. Or I could make, yeah, the problem is that it's hard to guarantee that it's going to be, unless I connect all of them, it's hard to guarantee that it's not going to have a partition in it. Once you connect too many of the edges, it just ends up being a big blob, right? It's not like a very, like you can even see this one. There's a gap here, and then this one doesn't connect there. So this one's not connected either to this, unless it goes further down, which I can't really see, but. Hmm. I like the room sizes though. I feel like these are good sized rooms. I could just add, I mean, I could just make bridges with grass. Just make grass bridges here whenever I want to connect. That's probably what I should do. I should have just stuck to that. Because I don't think I'm gonna have the right amount of control that I want by just doing it this way. Because I feel like eventually I'm gonna have some amount of like dynamic elements like that. I'm not just gonna be able to like snap together rooms. Like neighboring, like eventually I'm gonna have to have bridges between rooms. Like hallways between rooms, I mean. So I may as well start that process. How am I gonna do this? I guess I'll yeah, I think the output of this, where I'm using level blocks, or no, where is it? Yeah, here, level blocks. This needs to change so I can support adding bridges. Because right now level blocks are specific to like levels, you know? But what I really need is I really just need to have, like I basically need to pull all the data out of the LDTK level and put it into some structure and then pass that over. Let's see here. Level layers. So what I can do is I can just do the tile position. Tilepause.x block dot, oh, plus equals block dot tilepause. So I can just calculate the tilepause out more. So then this won't use LDTK at all. This will just read from my internal data structure. So that way I can generate whatever I want into some internal data structure and then pass those to this, which actually like constructs the full map. Okay. What does this need? Jump letter set tile type, set object type. That does make it kind of hard because now you have objects and you also have, what does set object type do? I guess in tile I have an object. I see. That's for the object layer. That's fine. Yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the level block object to, instead of just having like name and tile pause, it'll keep having tile pause. I'm gonna get rid of name. I'm gonna add, or no, maybe I just add a list. Maybe I don't add tile pause. I just add a list of all of the tiles. Set tile type. It's just weird. Because eventually what I want to do is I just want to loop through a bunch of tiles, put their position, read their tile type, and put the tile in the position, you know? Where's my tile data structure? Let's look at that. Where are you? Oh, it's in tile.go. Tile. Floor object. That's fine. That's fine, I think. So we'll make a new, I really want a struct. Like I want a, I'll just make one type. Oops. Level block tile. We'll keep the position of the tile, then we'll just keep the well, I'm curious. Can I just do I'm doing like set object type, I'm doing set tile type. Object type. I really just want like set tile. Get tile. That means I must have created the tile already, right? Don't you love like going through your code and like, what did I do? Like, how did I do this? Tile pause. Position. Where do I use tile pause? Tile pause to recalc. That's fine. Set tile type. Oh, if not okay, I generate the chunk. I see, I see. Yeah, what I can do though is I can just do this same thing, but instead of doing like set tile type, I'll just do like set tile. So what I'll store is just the full tile. And that'll simplify this whole interface. So I won't be doing like, oh, set this, set that. It'll just be generating a block. And then when I want to load the chunk loader, which I probably should rename because it's not a good name anymore, what I'll basically do is just have it take the tile, put the tile completely inside. I like that. I like it. I have to go to the bathroom though. I'll be right back. Give me like 5 minutes. All right, sorry about that. I made a new cup of coffee too. So we're all set. We're locked in. We're locked and loaded. I don't even remember what I was doing. That's how long I was gone. My cat's bringing socks to me. That means he wants me to throw them. Let go. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna do this. We'll get rid of that too. Level, block, tile. So then in here, well, let's go to level. Let's do a little side by side. I'm gonna put this one over here. I'm gonna make another function just because this is gonna be fairly complicated. Like blocks I equals create level block. I think I need to pass the project in. I definitely need to pass the chunk loader in. And then I need to pass in the name. Wait a second, this is just doing the same exact thing though, isn't it? All right, time to break out the drawing tool. Where are you? I had in my head what I was gonna draw. Whoops. I guess we're gonna have chunks. Let's say we generate this. Is the tablet plugged in? Yeah, it is plugged in. I can try the tablet if you guys want. Got it. All right. I do need to fix it so it just goes on one screen because right now I can only use half my tablet, which makes writing really, really small. That's how you right click, I guess. All right. I feel like I want to zoom in a little bit more. All right. Let's say this is A. That's B. That's C. All right. I really do need to practice this. I'm glad you reminded me. So I think I'm gonna have it like grid. It's gonna be a grid. It's gonna be a grid, and then it's gonna be bridges. So if A was generated first, and then I move downwards to B. Man, it's so hard to do this. Like, look at that. That was supposed to be straight. Oh well. Then I need to do a bridge. Bridges. We have A to B. Then we're gonna have B to C. This will be the next one. And like if we go to D, we'll do C to D. So I think we'll have blocks and then we'll have bridges. And then we'll draw all the bridges first. And then the bridges will be below the blocks. I feel like that works. Let me see. So if we create a level block. Yeah, so we'll have one function which creates the level block. Then we'll have another function that creates another block, but it's going to be a bridge. Or Or actually what we might do is I might go through generate these blocks like I was before. I still want this intermediate thing, this intermediate representation. But I think I'm gonna call it level. I think I'm gonna do this actually. This was good. This will be like the level definition. My terms are getting really confusing though. Level def. This will be like the coagulation of all, I don't know, that's definitely not the right word, but this will be the combination of all of the level blocks and bridges. And then this will be what gets sent to the chunk loader to load itself. And then what I'm going to do here because this part's fine. This part's fine. We don't necessarily have to pick the name here though. We can though, it doesn't really matter. Oh, we do have to track though where we came from. So if we're on B, we need to track that we came from A, I guess. Then we just loop through 2 times. Once to generate the bridge of the level block, and once to generate the actual level block itself. I think this works. Priv, tile, pause. Oh wait, this is the actual, I'm gonna call this a chunk. Or I'll call it a block pause. I guess we have the path it took. No, you don't. No, you have to track where you came from. Naming concepts are hard, yeah. Well, it's like I just like I'm over abstracting this because I don't understand it. So I'm like, I have a level config. I have a, you know what I mean? Let's just replan this. Because this is just too much. This is just too much for what I'm trying to do. What I want is I want the chunk loader just to be like the runtime thing, right? So I don't want the chunk loader to know about how it gets loaded. What I want to have the chunk loader have is I just want to pass in, or like it generates based off of a level config. It generates the entire map. So what that means is that this is all fine. This just needs to return one big tile map though. That's going to get passed into the chunk loader. So it's basically just a list of tiles, which is kind of what we have here in level def. Level def tile, pause, tile, pause. That part's fine. And then internally, I guess I'm using this in my generation code. So this is kind of more of a, this is becoming more of a local concept, I guess, just to this function. Oh yeah, this will have to change too. This one's just loading the entire overworld. Here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna do this. I think the level block thing is fine. As just because the concept here is just I'm putting a block from LDTK into my chunk loader. But the way I'm going to do that is by using this intermediate thing called the level def. So make a function here which is on the level def. Or I'm just add block. It's awkward to pass the chunk loader here. Project ldtk go.project. Actually, I might just put all of this in the block. Okay. I'll put this up here too. So level block, this is a LDTK block and position. This is entire level, entire loaded level. I'm gonna call this loaded level. Nah, let's just keep it like this. We'll rename stuff later. I think conceptually I kind of know what I want now. This is a tile. The only downside with structuring it this way is if I need to overwrite a tile, if I want to overwrite a tile, it'll be duplicated inside of the array. So maybe a map is proper here. That seems fine. And I think I might still keep it. We need this though. We might not need this. So now we just don't need this at all. Okay, that's simpler. So the tile goes to this tile position. Add block. So block needs to have, it technically just needs the chunk math. Math. It needs the project. This might be a good thing to interface, to make an interface though. I'm gonna call this level block. Tiles. Okay. Do I need config here? I don't think I do actually. All right. Chunkloader.chunk math and then project. Where do I use chunkloader here? I'm just chunk math, tile.chunk math. Chunk math is just like my interface for doing different types of like tiling operations. this seems fine to me. I'll call this generate level. This is going to return a level def. Level def. Tiles make map tile.tile position tile. What version of Go am I running? I think 120. I type tile. Yeah, 120. Is 121 out yet? I feel like once they added generics, I was kind of like, there's not really, I mean, they're definitely adding new features here and there. But there's like a few things I'm waiting for, but most stuff it's like, okay, it's nice to have better performance. But yeah, I saw errors join as a thing. I even have I have some to-dos in my kit, which is like change this to errors join. So yeah, there's also profile guided optimization, which is in like, oh, it's super nice. Nice. Yeah, I want to use it. I just haven't. Errors was always really hard to work with, I thought. Like once I started actually having to make errors and like return them, it was like, golly. I also want to, yeah, I want to try the profile guided optimization stuff too, but I haven't tried that either. That'd be a cool thing to do a video on, because I have like a pretty big application, so it'd be interesting to see like how performance changes there, or even just in my ECS benchmark, how performance changes there too. Okay. You just upgraded to 19.5 at work. And I had to hand roll errors.joins when we do upgrade the code doesn't change except the package name. Oh, you wrote it yourself, and then I see. That's kind of funny. Oh, I also need to track the entities too. That's fine though. I need to do all of this actually, don't I? This is gonna be a very rough code base, I feel like. I feel like my tile map stuff's in such a bad shape right now. I'll just rename this to block. I think that's what I'm using everywhere else. Okay. Block, tile pause. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull these out. Chunk math. Tile map position to tile. We'll do this, and we'll do project, block.project. Okay. Now that those are pulled out, excuse Excuse me. Now instead of all the chunk loader stuff, well, this one, position tile, this is chunk math operation. Chunk loader. This is where it's hard because it's like they're separated on, I think they're separated on different layers. Yeah. I mean, what I can do is I can have my level def. I can just have the different layers separated as well. And then when I load them on the chunk loader, it just puts them like this. That's probably fine. Probably. Tile, object def, tile def. Do I even use sprites? I don't even think I use this. Oh no, actually I think I do for the renderer. Okay. So now we'll do level def dot tiles tile pause equals tile def. Let's see what this guy has in it. We just need the type. Tile type. Or there might be new tile def or something like that. Nope. Okay. Do the same thing for objects. Objects. Object def. Object type. Is there anything else I need to put here? Nope. Okay. Let's go for more. We can delete this though. Put space here, clean it up a little bit. This one's still to do. Yeah, actually, eventually I want to have like spawner blocks too, or spawner entities for the overworld, but for now I just spawn you at 0, 0. Okay. Now I need to load the entities, which means I need to have a, I guess I'll separate all of the things out, kind of like I do in the chunk loader, or tile, rooms, yeah, we'll just do this. So this will all be the exact same. It's just when instead of putting in chunk loader, it's just level def. Oh, I have a typo here. Level def. This is chunk math. It's good I'm separating this stuff out. I hope I'm in the right spot. Was I doing this right spot? Yeah, okay. Ah, shoot. Level def. I hate when I replace a string and as long as your black magic makes sense to you, homie. Yeah. Pretty much. Honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. I try to explain what I'm doing, but I'm sure it makes 0 sense to anybody else. I'm mostly just moving code somewhere else. I'm moving code somewhere else so that I can more easily like change it, if that makes sense. Because once it's in my chunk loader, it's like really hard to interact with. So I want to like pre-build the level and then pass it all to the chunk loader. That's kind of my goal. The chunk loader is like the runtime thing that gets used for like what tile is the player on, stuff like that. So I'm kind of just like pulling it out so I can more easily procedurally generate levels. Block. We can make all the blocks and then do this. Cool. This is not going to compile, but I will try. All right. Okay, we need to change this now. Level, def. Refactoring is always good as long as it makes things simpler. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if I'm actually making it simpler, but in this case, I'm not 100% sure. Eventually, I feel like I'll understand the problem well enough. I'll hack around for a while, then I'll be like, oh, now I get why it's hard. And then I'll fix that, and then it'll be easy. I feel like that's how it usually goes for me. So all of this code got moved. Now we just have this big level def. I'm just gonna delete this. Ah, shoot, I can't find which one this is. Yeah, this is the right one, okay. I think that's everybody who's worked on a complex code base ever. Yeah, pretty much. It would be nice to write it the right way the first time, but it's just too hard. Like it really is. Tile def range level def dot tiles. So now I can just do, oh, I deleted it. Nope, tile.go. Where are you? So now these are separated out. Like the problem is that LDTK is a very like vague data structure compared to mine, which is very strongly typed. So I need to like pull out of LDTK to something intermediate, and then from the intermediate one, I can very easily load my chunk loader. Yeah, we want to do this. Set object type. Where's the other one? That's one of them. Chunk loader dot. To tell that. Okay, cool. So like now the data is all together. We can just do this for all the tiles. Tile pause, object, def, objects. Yeah, I guess I technically need to do full tile object. That's not a super important thing, but it'd be a nice thing to have, I guess. And the other ones are actually already in the state they need to be. Or level def. I'm kind of worried because I'm using the word level here, but I also might add levels to your character. I feel like there's going to be some kind of a collision there. Okay. Now, tile, pause to recalc. Yeah, I was thinking of using the word scene actually, you know. It's fun. It's funny. Sometimes I'm like so bad at naming things that I'll choose 2 words for things. Like I literally on the client I call it a scene, and in the overarching thing I call it a level. It's terrible. The principal engineer I worked under has a saying: "Good code isn't written; it's rewritten." That's true. I like that. I'm gonna steal that saying. I think. Yeah, I think I do want to change it to scene. Or we'll just do chunk math. But let me get it. I need to get it working before I start changing names. Because if I change the names, it's going to take me like an hour. I think once I get this thing like together, I think I'll have a better, because I'll need to combine this scene of how I use it here with the scene of how I'm using it in the client. Because it's like very slightly different how the client requirements are very slightly different from the server requirements. Not in terms of how you load the scene, but in terms of how the scenes get run. Are you using Go C lib bindings for GTK? I don't even know what GTK is. I'm trying to think of what that is. Oh, I'm not using GTK. That's their, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not using GTK. I'm using GLFW. I use GLFW and OpenGL. Yeah. Straight up going raw. Yeah. Dude, that's us. As raw as it gets. Oh, I need to do this for all of these now. Objects. Room, make room. Yeah, I wouldn't mind using something like this. Something that's like more like cross-platform, and I think there are some written in Go. It just really has to be like very minimal. But like GLFW has been pretty good for me. And then obviously in browser, which is mostly where my game's targeted right now, it's just like an HTML canvas. Add. Let's just make this a pointer. Oops. Yeah, I'm fine with this. HTML Canvas API still gives me nightmares. Why is that? I run entire web apps on the Canvas API as a junior dev for DoD contracts. Oh, really? I know very little about the Canvas APIs. I mostly am using WebGL. It's like literally the canvas gets made and like I resize it sometimes. So it's not like I'm actually amazed that this compiled. I have no idea what's gonna happen when I hit this button. Oh, okay. Cool. Look at us. Still kind of working. The fact that these levels are even slightly complex is really going to show how stupid my AI is, because they're just going to be like walking into walls and stuff. But we'll fix that later. Oh great, look at this guy. Because I have a tile case that's not really handled there. Oh, my cat's like trying to get comfortable, but he's sitting on a desk that's got a bunch of stuff on it, like a little table. It's like full of stuff. Go sit on the couch, buddy. Gonna have a lot of chances for Among Us to show up. Do they drop things? Oh, my cats? Oh, they knock whatever they can off the desk. It's funny because like they'll jump up to like get pet and then they'll just see something that looks like kind of light and they'll just like throw it off the desk. And it's like, that's just, I don't know. It's like it's so disrespectful, but like I'm still petitioning for a cat cam. Yeah. I've done the cat cam in the past. It's just hard because they're like never in one spot, you know? So when I have the cam on me, sometimes they'll come up, but like when it's on me, it's like not low enough because they're usually below the camera line. Unless they like jump on my shoulder or something. Okay. Yeah. I want to get a stand for my camera because right now my camera's on top of my monitor, which is already pretty high. So it's like looking down at me. I want to get like a one that's more like eye level, I guess. And then I think once I have that, it'll be easier to see. They're only like 20 bucks, so. Okay. Now that this spits out a level def, it gets loaded for us. What we can do now is in addition to level blocks that load from LDTK, this should be like LDTK level block. Yeah, I'm very, very interested in WebGPU. I like just the fact that like it has so many backends for it is like very enticing. Because like manually writing like Vulkan and then manually writing like DirectX sounds terrible. And it seems like WebGPU is like what people are moving to for the web. So I definitely want to move to it. I just don't like, right now I just don't have time to, but eventually I'm going to I'll probably move my rendering library to WebGPU. But if there was a way for me to like port or like, I don't know how to explain this. If there was a way for my OpenGL code to easily port to WebGPU, I would totally do it. Because like I'm really not using that many OpenGL concepts, so I don't think it would be that hard of a port. It's just like I just don't know. Because there's like, in these more advanced graphics APIs, they do like swap chains and like complicated things like that. And I'm just not familiar with it. So it'll be like a learning process for me. But I saw that there's bindings for it, at least. I do want to use it though. Because this type of level block is technically for LDTK stuff only. And now I need like a level bridge. I'll just call it level bridge. From to. I'll just have it going between two tile positions. We can do like a width, I guess. Int. This will be how wide the bridge is. Don't worry, it's high enough like OpenGL, it's not gonna be that painful. Oh really? Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, like the thing is like performance isn't that important to me, just because of the type of games I'm making. So having like higher level interfaces is fine with me, as long as I have enough flexibility to like code what I need to code. The problem is some graphics libraries abstract so much away that it's like I literally can't like I can't write shaders, I can't do any of that stuff, so it makes it really hard to use them. Just because they're not flexible enough. So I'd really like something that's high level, not necessarily like super fast, but gives me enough flexibility to like code what I need to code. I could make this an interface, I think, that just has add on it, that just modifies. It's just something that adds something to the level def. Level bridge. I'll just do B. I mean, really, this should just be a rectangle, huh? I'm not gonna worry about this too much. I'm gonna have to like I 100% guarantee you I'm gonna have to rewrite all of this stuff. A 100% guarantee. So there's just no point in even trying to solve this problem in a good way. From to shoot. Now I've said it. So we can build. Do I want to do this? I mean, really, what we want to build is a rectangle, and then we want to loop through that rectangle. Let's just do this. For x is. Oh, this is always very awkward, isn't it? Because you have to know which way. You have to know which way's further, I guess. And that determines if you're going horizontally or vertically. I wonder if I could just go. Let's think here. Streamer tile problem space exploration for dungeon generation. Exactly. Hey, this is all prototyping code, but I will deploy it to production. That's just how you gotta do it sometimes. Let's see here. It's hard to know which way to push the width out, you know? I guess if you make the restriction that we'll just find which way is longer. That's what we'll do. If from as you should, testing in prod. Exactly. That's the only way to test. I don't write unit tests. I crowdsource my testing. That's what I call it. I'm a crowdsourced tester. Let's just do this. X longer. We'll say false. Unless X is longer. Cringe. The maximum. This is maximum cringe. I need to do two things. I need to figure out which one's the longer way, and then I need to figure out which one's, like, I need to make sure the loop goes positive in the positive direction. So I think it's b.2.x math.abs float 64. Okay. So if the x is greater than the y, the x delta is greater than the y, yeah, then x is longer. Okay, cool. Now we need to reorder the rectangle. Or no, basically what we'll do, I think we'll just walk the line. Yeah, this is really, this is hard if you go diagonally. I'm just gonna say these have to be either horizontal or vertical. How is this gonna look when I make it on this side? I'll basically make a level block. Yeah, so I have block position is this. Then I need last block position. And I'll have bridges too. Level bridge. Block pause. Yeah, enjoy your dinner, buddy. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see here. Let's do this. Start X, start Y. That's that one. We basically just want to, if we move or walk, well, once we add a block, we want to, I guess after here, we want to do last block pause. Okay, that's right. So that tracks our last one. So now we'll have the last position, the current position. A lot of block. If last block pause not equal to block pause, then we'll do bridges equals append bridges level bridge. I think I need chunk math. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it on the block. So much weird naming stuff. I know. Aren't they technically tiles? Well, it's weird. It's hard because I have I'm calling these blocks. I'm just using tile position here. I'm using tile position here just because it's convenient. It's just a struct that holds two ints, x and y. Technically, I should make a new type, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's just do that. Block pause. So we'll make a block pause. That way it's a little bit clearer. So then from is going to be last block pause. To is going to be current block pause. And then we need to pass, I don't know, width, we'll do like 5. And then we'll do chunk math. I think that it's that way. So the bridges will guarantee that everything's interconnected properly. And then none of these will touch the edge. They'll just be rooms and then they'll be bridged together laterally. And I'm gonna force, because I currently have the restriction that you can only go in one direction at a time, and there's only the edge neighbors. So what I'm gonna do is one of these is either 0, either we're going X or we're going Y. B.from.x. This is not I don't like how unprotected this is, but I'm not gonna fix it right now because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna rewrite this anyways. Yeah, so in diagonal cases, this is gonna be terrible. This is all closed source. A lot of my code is open source. Originally I had the MMO project and it was like originally I planned to make it open source, but then I kind of decided to like quit my job and try to make a full game. So I started closed sourcing this stuff. I do try to push out some of the code to libraries. So like for example, my ECS library is open source, my rendering library is open source, and I have another package that has a bunch of like kind of random game components, and that one's open source. But like the actual like full game build and all is all in this project, and this is closed source. Yeah, like if I had a good way to build, like if I had a good way to abstract away my procedural generation so it was easy for other people to use, then I probably would put it in a package, but I just don't. I haven't like figured it out enough. So I'll usually like build it inside of here and it'll be like crappy like this. And then eventually I'll be like, okay, like I understand it enough to build a library out of this. And then I'll put it in a package, and yeah. That's typically how it goes for me, at least. Like for example, all my tile, like my chunk map and all this stuff is in my like generic game library project called Flow. Yeah, that seemed like a good balance between like sharing code with people so they could use it or look at it, and also but not giving everything away. Because I kind of realized, like, if I went through this whole process to build this and then someone just like clones my game, like, I don't know, makes the art better or something, and then like hosts it right next to me, I'd feel pretty bad about it. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't be happy. So I wanted to like prevent that. But if someone made their own game on top of my libraries, I'd obviously be like ecstatic for it. I just didn't want people to like knock off my game, I guess. Yeah, the same thing that happened to with the guy that made a game called Redactyl. I haven't heard of that. What did you do? It's a Wikipedia variant of Wordle. Oh, interesting. So I'm supposed to guess I guess I'm trying to guess the article. Man, they take out a lot of words though. Like, they don't give you any hints. It's just, this is some kind of knockoff. Maybe this is the one. Subject of a random obfuscated Wikipedia article by revealing words one at a time. Up one? Unlimited? Did I type something? Bird. Oh, so you have to read and be like, blank is a blank. Oh, this isn't even it? Oh, this one. Oh, dang. This is the original? Interesting. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like he's not even the top search result. I guess he made it open source. Oh, 7, 4. Oh, it's 4 letters. It's hard because I want to guess a subject, but like day, city. Oh, city. During the. I guess these already. He open sourced it. People stole his code and put it back up. Yeah. Oh, I see. I see. Dated. Man. Woman. How many guesses are you supposed to get? I guess it's a man. Year. Oh, 14. Oh, unlimited. Oh, because it's redactyl unlimited. What's up, Kai? How you doing? Should we just guess dates? 1928. No, it wasn't that date. This is hard. I genuinely don't even know what to guess here. I guess this is a single digit. Oh, this is 2 digits. It's a lot of guesses. I usually start with gender. Male. Oh, oh, I see. Interesting. It looks like an author because I see a title here. It's probably an author or a the movie book adaptation series television. Nope. Title. Okay. Title. Known for. Okay. Months and days of the month. Oh, you usually like 1, 2, 3. You like go through all of them. Dang, that's serious. In January. Following. Interesting. I don't think I'm gonna beat this. That's kind of cool though. It's a fun little puzzle, I guess. Blank title. One day, then after his title to what, like house? Title to a house? Car? I don't know. Oh, these are the citations? Interesting. Oh, we could do HTTPS. This particular person is an athlete? Why do you say that? Oh, this is yesterday's puzzle. Gotcha. Football. Running. Jump. Basket. Base. That's all the sports I know. Golf. Title sounds like a racing thing. F1. Race. I don't know. I give up. Combat sports? Oh. Boxing. Yeah. Mike? Who's boxers? Bout. It stinks because they get like one. It's like you get one little thing, and it's like now I have a bunch of stuff I want to guess. You know, so I can see how this is fun. Fight. 62. I know, it's pulling a thread, and now you go down like the next rabbit hole. It's like, what? Ring. The Ring. I don't know that much about boxing. All right, I gotta go eat lunch though. I'm starving. This was fun. I enjoyed this. This was a nice little wrap up. I'll have to finish my coding later, but I need to eat. My blood sugar's low. I like just going through, I have like a list of excuses right next to my computer. I just read them one at a time. All right, guys, thanks for stopping in. It was a good stream today. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'll see you guys next time. Yep.